Welcome to the Great E-Bike Con, how manufacturers are peddling e-motos in disguise. I'm Gwen Furrow, Director of Marin Safe Routes to Schools and an employee for the Marin County Bicycle Coalition. For 25 years, Marin Safe Routes has been dedicated to getting more kids on bikes. And personally, I've taught thousands of your students throughout Marin. If you're a parent of a student on an e-bike or e-mobility device or considering one, this presentation is for you. Marin has had many cycling firsts, and we enjoy a robust cycling culture. We're the birthplace of mountain biking. Safe Routes was founded in Marin, and because of our success, is now a national program. Of course, we have Kate Courtney with all of her firsts, and we're one of the first in the country with the explosion of e-bikes. But with national notoriety comes increased responsibility. Because Marin Safe Routes teaches upwards to 10,000 students annually, we can say with certainty that your students know traffic laws, stopping at stop signs, wearing helmets, and following all the laws that govern our roads. For the past 2 years, we've also taught them e-bike safety, including the laws, for example, for tandem riding, which is not allowed on banana seats. By the way, all middle and high school students know the difference between a legal e-bike and an illegal e-moto because we have been teaching the difference directly to your students. Additionally, we are in a unique position of hearing firsthand from students who brag about how fast they exceed the speed limits, while their peers look on confused and concerned, feeling peer pressure to either go along with breaking laws or being left out of the friend group. I'll talk more about this impact later. The bottom line, why this matters. According to our public health dashboard, 10 to 15-year-olds are 5 times more likely to crash on an electric mobility device than any other age group. Within 2 years, there have been 52 crashes with kids taken away in ambulances, and those are just the ones we know about. Most, if not all of these crashes involve the popular throttle e-motos. Of the 8 most recent e-wheel crashes reported by Central Marin, all were illegal e-motos and 75% were children under 16. This data, along with our e-moto counts at schools on and off campuses, show that e-motos, not e-bikes, are most likely involved. This is not theoretical, nor is it intended to speculate or blame parents, simply to inform you of the seriousness of these crashes and the impact on students and parents. Students across Marin and the country are being significantly injured with either long-lasting or permanent damage, and some have died. According to Dr. John Maw, American College of Surgeons governor, overall, the death rate for e-wheel injuries was 37 times higher than for crashes with pedal bicycles. In addition to the horrific physical pain, parents are now facing criminal and liability charges, such as child endangerment and the risk of child protective services being called. Our goal is to advise parents to make informed decisions based upon a student's age and ability to ride something that goes very fast and is harder to stop. The benefits of cycling in general are tremendous, especially the independence and friendships it gives them. And who doesn't want to get students outside and away from screens? But what's happening with e-bikes right now isn't what it seems, and the risks seriously outweigh the benefits. In short, e-motorcycles are not e-bikes, which puts parents legally, financially, and of course, emotionally at tremendous risk. Your industry experts are all up in arms. That includes League of American Bicyclists and People for Bikes, Cal Bikes, and many other bike coalition and cycling educators throughout the country. If you don't take anything else away from my presentation today, take this. Stop calling e-motorcycles e-bikes. They are not e-bikes, and they're giving the cycling industry a bad reputation. People for Bikes said headlines about crashes, bans, and reckless riding are becoming more common. But here's the problem. Most of the so-called e-bikes making the news aren't electric bicycles at all. Removing e-motos from our roads is essential, not only to ensure safety and to protect parents and students from legal risk, but to prevent the kind of public confusion and pushback that undermines legitimate progress. As Chris White, executive director of San Francisco Bicycle Coalition, said, this is a matter of life or death. Anyone who continues to mislabel e-motorcycles as e-bikes is directly or indirectly contributing to child endangerment, and that's where we need to draw the line. To learn the difference, we must look at the California laws that describe an e-bike, which has always been intended to be a low-speed vehicle or device. A legal e-bike has a maximum of 750-watt motor with maximum speeds of 20 miles per hour for Class 1 and Class 2, and 28 for pedal assist Class 3. Once that speed limit is reached, the motor must stop giving any assistance. But the truth is, many of the products sold as throttle Class 2 e-bikes grossly exceed these limits. Some can go as fast as 60 miles per hour. To recap, all four things must be true. A legal e-bike must have a motor equal to or less than 750 watts, have fully operational pedals. They must work, not just put on for decoration. They must display a class label, class 1, 2, or 3. And if there is no label, it's an indication that the speed can go higher than intended. And they must stop providing power at 20 miles per hour for class 1 and class 2, or 28 for class 3. Anything faster, stronger, or missing those pedals, that's an e-moto, a motor dirt bike for use on private land. But yes, again, many are being marketed as e-bikes directly to our kids. Marin now has this new law. You must be 16 to ride a legal Class 2 throttle, no pedaling needed, along with Class 3 pedaling assist, and all must wear a helmet. The Class 1 pedal assist can still be ridden by anyone of any age. Along with the maximum speed of 20 miles per hour, it is generally safer because once you stop pedaling, the bike begins to slow down, making speeds and stopping more controllable. Additionally, they are higher off the ground, which means that your student is more visible to motorists. The throttle Class 2 requires more skill and experience to turn down the throttle while simultaneously applying the brakes. Again, the ones that look like a motorcycle are most likely an e-moto, low to the ground, harder to stop, and harder for drivers to see, especially small kids, when cars are making turns. So how are parents getting hoodwinked into purchasing illegal e-motos, which again are okay to use on private land like dirt bikes, but are illegal on roads and pathways? These manufacturers know exactly what they're doing. They're using the same playbook that once sold cigarettes, alcohol, and vape pens to minors. You'll see ads with young kids popping wheelies, cute dogs sell products, and subtle messages like put your helmet on your handlebar so you don't mess up your hair. But these are not harmless visuals. They normalize unsafe behavior and send powerful signals that risk-taking is cool and laws don't apply. Take this example of an e-moto with a 1,000-watt motor and a top speed of 28 miles per hour on motor power alone. It is illegal on public roads, pathways, and all public property, which is why they are banned from school campuses. Class sticker alone cannot tell you whether a bike is legal or not, because anyone can buy them. In fact, one middle schooler even put 4 of them on his e-moto. But a quick look at the manufacturer's website shows the truth. It has a 2,000-watt motor capable of reaching 37 miles per hour. Now you might say, but my kid's Class 2 e-bike is legal. It's under 750 watts and locked at 20 miles per hour. Not true. If it's capable of going over 20 miles per hour on motor power alone without pedaling, it's an e-moto. Read what one owner of Super 73 said. Super 73 had to make some kind of change to show they were complying with the new law. Thankfully, they chose to contain this change only to their app and not update the controller or display firmware. This leaves the door open for third-party apps to still be able to set the higher speed, even on bikes sold after January 1st, 2025. So they are doing us a favor in a roundabout sort of way. In fact, Mill Valley and Central Marin Police have seen students fleeing at 45 miles an hour. By the way, that is a criminal offense that stays on your student's record and might even impact their ability to get into college and on sports teams in the future. Additionally, students are exposed to online influencers. So here's the catch. Some retailers and online influencers, some with millions of followers, are showing how to unlock the e-motos to go faster. They glorify reckless stunts, mock police, and fuel a dangerous culture of rule breaking. Even good kids can buckle under peer pressure. It's like asking them to ignore their phone when it dings. The peer pressure pull is way too strong at this age. And there are a lot of social media influencers glorifying breaking the laws, all the while being given free product from manufacturers, while your children are being scammed into thinking this is cool. This is not unique to Marin, as is evident by this information from another county's law enforcement. In a nutshell, gas-powered mopeds and other motorized vehicles, including e-motos, are not allowed on sidewalks, bike lanes, or multi-use pathways. And you must be 16 years old with a special driver's license. The e-moto must also be equipped with mirrors and lights, but most manufacturers, as we know, are not building and selling them as e-mopeds with the necessary equipment because they are selling them as e-bikes. So you can't go to the DMV and get it registered. You cannot get insurance for them, and they're considered personal property, not a vehicle. Parents are now carrying the burden of responsibility. Failure to comply with this law is considered child endangerment. Again, no one is allowed to ride an e-moto on a multi-use pathway, regardless of age or physical size. That means law enforcement is legally allowed to stop anyone on a moped, a motorcycle, or an e-moto riding along this pathway. A pedestrian and other cyclists are well within their right to sue if a crash occurs with one of these e-motorcycles or e-motos. Cycling instructors also are not insured to teach anyone with an e-moto. Our insurance would not cover us in the event of an e-moto crash, and we could be held liable. So though we have the knowledge and expertise, we cannot provide the education. Excuse me, the laws are in black and white for a reason, to keep our children and our community safe. But the unintended consequences reverberate throughout the county when tragedy strikes. You might think your child can handle it, but breaking the law doesn't stop with you. It spreads, pressuring other parents and kids who may not be as lucky. But everyone else's parents let them do it. Think about the impact to other kids as they feel isolated from friend groups, as their peers brag that they're allowed to do something they shouldn't be doing. In speaking with a group of 8th graders recently, they said, everyone's breaking the law. How confusing and chaotic it must seem to your students if they believe that breaking the law is being normalized in their community. Today, we're talking about e-motos, but there are many other traffic violations that you and your team will be faced with. Parenting is hard, I know. I've raised two in Marin myself. Trust me, I do understand. So where do we draw the line? Right here together. We as a community of parents and cycling advocates need to stand united. We can say no to unsafe products and yes to real independence, safety, and shared responsibility. Let's set the students up for success today, while laws will ultimately hold manufacturers and retailers accountable tomorrow. The latter will take time, but with your help, we can all send a clear message to these manufacturers and retailers. The safety of your children cannot be bought. Here are some additional resources. The Caring Parents e-bike survival guide sold online will inform you how to purchase and manage your student's e-bike. Additionally, here's an e-bike contract for you to download and go over with your student to set clear expectations and consequences for their behavior. Remember, this is a vehicle, not a toy, and it warrants a thorough review of your expectations. Plus, it will serve as a checklist for what to watch out for with any e-bike, including the disabling or removing of the governor that controls speeds or the loosening of brakes in order to do wheelies. Lastly, Marin has been given an opportunity to pilot a behavior motivation class for your student. This free class is for parents and teens considering purchasing an e-bike or for those who have perhaps been incited by law enforcement. This 2-hour free class, complete with an activity book, is about influencing students to make the right choices and for parents to have the conversation with their teen in a safe and supportive environment. If interested in the class or simply want more information, scan the QR code or follow the more information link. Together, let's keep Marin biking and e-biking safely. Thank you for listening.